What I carry in my tackle bag right here. My entire bag weighs 13 pounds, which is convenient when I'm walking around and shore fishing. This first box here are my crankbaits. This is my one and only hard swim bait, Spro BBZ. And here are a couple Rapala shad wraps. And here's another Rapala crankbait which dives about 14 feet. And moving over, I've had some Strike King crankbaits. I got a 6XD which dives over 20 feet, given the right line. And a couple of 5XDs which dive 15 feet. Then I have a Rapala DT10 in a bass pattern, a man's 1- crankbait, and a Strike King Series 3 crankbait which dives 8 to 10 feet. Then I got a bunch of KVD square bills right here. You can see 2.5s down here in a sexy sunfish and bluegill pattern. Then I got some 1.5 shad pattern, bluegill pattern, and this crawfish type pattern. And over here I got a bunch of different crankbaits. Here's a Rapala DT6. The bill actually broke off on a cast, so I glued it back together and it runs perfectly fine. A couple of smaller Series 3 crankbaits, Strike King. A couple of Man's Babies 1-, which are great, proven lures, which will catch bass in shallow water. A live target square bill that a friend gave to me, and one more KVD square bill. And over here I've got some get out of here, Oreo. Over here I've got some crankbaits, some flat-sided ones. They have a tighter wobble than a traditional crankbait, which is good for cooler water temperatures. And here's some jointed Rapalas, a couple original ones right here, and one in a more shad-like shape. And some of these crankbaits, if the hooks aren't good, I'll replace them with VMC short shanks, which run for you can get 7 of them for $2, which is a great deal. Because the reason why I do this is I fish only with braid, even for crankbaits, so I need a treble hook that's not going to bend on strong fish. And those VMCs aren't as sharp as maybe Gamakatsu, but they're not going to bend. They're extremely strong. Let's take a look at the next box. In this box I got my jerk baits and my top waters. Let's start with the top waters. I got some spook baits right here. I got a spook right here. I've added split rings and replaced the treble hooks. I got a Lucky Craft gunfish right here, and 2 Bass Pro Shops brand walking baits. And then I got some poppers and jitterbugs over here. Here's a big jointed jitterbug, smaller jointed jitterbug, and a black jitterbug, which is one of my favorites to fish at night. I got a Rapala skitter pop, walks really well and has great popping action. And then a yellow magic popper, which has a perfect popping action right out of the box. I got another yellow magic one right here in a smaller version. And the hooks on these yellow magic ones were really weak, so I replaced them already. And a Bass Pro Shops brand popper. And next I got my frogs. I have a live target frog right here, a Spro popping frog, and I've got a more finesse-like Spro frog. And what I do for the frog hooks is I'll use pliers and I'll bend the hooks out a little to make it easier to get hook sets on these frog bass, which tend to be very difficult to hook sometimes. Alright, now the jerk baits. Over here I've got this is same friend gave this to me as the live target lure. It's a big Rapala X-Wrap saltwater. A couple of Bass Pro Shops jerk baits and a white X-Wrap right here. Then I got my Lucky Crafts over here. I got here's a deep diving Lucky Craft pointer. A Stacy King jerk bait right here. And a couple more pointers right here in bluegill and shad patterns. And over here I've got a bunch of small crankbait or jerk baits and one random Rapala skitter walk, which I couldn't find room for in the topwater section. Right here. Here's my other pointers right here. A deep diving one, and then two of them that dived 4 to 5 feet in different patterns. Here's a Rapala. I'm not really sure what this is called. I bought it off someone. He sold it to me for $1. It works pretty well. Has a nice flashing action. And here's a small deep diving pointer. Alright. Next box is a lot of randomness. I'll start from the left. Well, as you can see right here, what I do is I got some pre-rigged drop shot hooks, which makes it convenient when I'm shore fishing. I want to use a drop shot rig, but I don't feel like tying one on. What I'll do is I'll use a snap, and I'll attach the snap to this other snap right here, and then it'll be good to go. I just use a split shot, attach it to the end, then it's ready to fish. I can get it on within 30 seconds of me casting. I don't have to tie anything. Very easy, very convenient. And I pre-rig 6 of these drop shots right there in different hook sizes, size 1 and size 1/0. And over here are some chatterbaits, different colors. I got black and blue right here. I like using single-tailed grubs as trailers. Then I got a bluegill type one, and as you can see in this bluegill and white one, the tails of the grubs are bleeding purple because of the other ones, but I don't think it looks bad, so I just leave it the way it is, and I still catch fish just fine. Next are these swim jigs. Got a couple different sizes. Here's a 1/2 ounce. I like double-tailed grubs for the most part for these swim jigs. Got a heavy cover swim jig right here. And I have a white swim jig to imitate shad. Then I got some jigs. These are 3/8 of an ounce. I carry a couple copies of jigs. I tend to lose them a lot because I'm always throwing them in heavy cover. So I have 3 3/8 ounce. I got 2 1/2 ounce, and I have 1 3/4 ounce for punching through grass mats and stuff. Alright, moving over. I actually carry a couple bobbers in case I find a use for them. Maybe I want to fish a float and fly. Maybe I might want to go to live bait if it's really slow for some reason and try it under a bluegill. I have a pre-rigged right here Reaction Innovation Skinny Dipper. I like to pre-rig my plastics because it saves time when I'm on the water. And I got a couple swim baits right here which I use to catch stripers, storm walleye swim shads right here. Then over here are all my rattle traps. I've got a lot of 1/2 ounce ones, 2 chrome blues right here, probably my favorite, most productive color. Got a shad colored one and a bluegill colored one. And these are all Strike King KVD red eye shads. Here's a couple smaller ones, 1/4 ounce. Alright, here's a 1/2 ounce red eye shad, then 1/4 ounce Rapala rattle trap, and 1/4 ounce red eye shad. Alright, over here I got some extra hooks. Got the trailer hooks for the spinner baits, and some 3.0, 4.0, and 5.0 hooks right here, if I find a need for them. In this bag right here, I've got a bunch of small hooks that I let people use if they're using live bait like night crawlers and stuff. A bunch of different size small hooks. I also got one O-ring left, so I need to stock up on those. Those are good for extending the life of Senkos and other wacky worms. Then I got some treble hooks right here, a bunch of different sizes that could be used if a treble hook on a crankbait breaks. I got some tiny eighth of an ounce rattle traps. And then I got some of these Rapala. They're supposed to be used for vertical jigging. I've actually haven't used these yet, so I'm not sure how well they work. If I ever go ice fishing, I'll probably pull these out. Here's some Little Georges. It's a classic lure, classic tail spinning lure, in 3/4 and a 1/2 ounce. And and one inline spinner, which are good for trout. And then lastly, I got a bunch of snaps because I always tie a snap on no matter what type of lure I use, so I can easily switch it out when I feel like it. I only use Bass Pro Shops brands. They're the strongest. I've never had one break on me. Other brands like Eagle Claw have broken on big fish, so now I only use Bass Pro Shops brand snaps. I also have some Carolina keepers, which are good for Carolina rigs, keeping the weight in place, and I also use them sometimes if I want to peg a weight when I'm flipping. Alright, that's it for that box. And my last box over here is my spinnerbait buzzbait box. I got 3 buzzbaits. Here's a 3/8 ounce buzzbait. These are, I believe these are Lunker City brand. There's a black one over here, good for fishing at night and cloudy conditions. And I got a smaller, more finesse one, which is good for like ponds and stuff. And over here I got my nighttime spinner baits, or really murky water spinner baits. These have a, for the most part, a single Colorado blade, and I got a black and blue with a curly tail grub as a trailer. And there's a terminated one I got on sale for $3. It has a, I think they call this, I forgot the name of this blade. I think it's a, might be an Indiana blade maybe, right here. Then I got one more, slightly bigger version. And I got a bunch of, on this side, there's a Strike King Burner Series spinnerbait, 3/8 of an ounce. Another Strike King spinnerbait right here, the white one. I like using curly tail grubs as trailers, a lot of times, as long as it doesn't mess up the action of the spinnerbait. And then these next ones are terminated ones that I got on sale for $3 each on Dick's clearance rack. 3/8 and 1/2 ounce ones. I have a bunch of different colors, some chartreuse, some white, bluegill ones. I pretty much have the color for any situation I might encounter. I'm not going to bother showing, I'll show one more spinnerbait. Here's my biggest spinnerbait, it's 3/4 of an ounce. It's good for like fishing ledges or deep water. Pull this one out, it has a single willow leaf blade, so it'll really get deep. Alright, that's it for the boxes. Now let me show you what I got in my tackle bags over here. Here's my soft plastic bags. I keep them in big Ziploc bags to keep them organized. This first bag here, I got flukes right here. And I'll show you real quick. I said I pre-rigged my plastics, and I'll show you what I do. These flukes, pretty much all my plastics have hooks in them already, so I can just take my snap, hook it through, and it's ready to fish. And I do that with all of them. It makes it real quick and easy to change out lures when I feel like it. And flukes are one of my favorite lures. I have a couple different colors of them. And what I do for my plastics is I won't keep, plastics come with usually 8 to 10 plastics. I'll usually only keep about 4 of them in a bag, and I'll keep the other 4 in storage. This way it really reduces the overall weight of my bag. I have some tubes right here, and these are also pre-rigged. I'm not going to bother pulling them out, but you can see they're pre-rigged with a jig head, and they're rigged with the stupid rig. Some white tubes here for imitating shad. I got 2 different power worms in here. I got the 10-inch power worm, and I also have the 6-inch power worm. And I have a couple crawls here, which can be used to, you can rig it on a hook, Texas style, or you can use them as jig trailers. Usually I use them as jig trailers. And the last 2 in this Ziploc bag are going to be my horny toads. A couple on green pumpkin, already rigged up. And here's a white one, and this other horny toad I found, I don't know what brand it is, but it has pretty good buzzing action. Alright, this bag over here, I've got brush hogs in here. I got both sizes. I keep 3 sizes of the 4.5 inch and 3 of the 6-inch ones. Here's some sweet beavers. And the hooks I use for these, for the brush hogs and the beavers, I use hooks like these ones right here. I'll show you. They have the weight already attached. This one's 3/8. I got 3/8 and 3/16 of an ounce. And that pretty much, I can usually cover all the conditions with those 2 hooks. Weight sizes. And here's some kinky beavers in black color, great for stained or murky water. Then I got one of my favorites, Jackal flick shake worms with a flick shake head, 1/8 of an ounce. These worms have great action, and not too many people use them, so the bass will really nail them if they haven't seen them before. I got robo worms, which I use for drop shotting and shaky head. I got the 4-inch, 4.5 inch, and 6-inch ones. My favorite color is this one is green pumpkin, black on the bottom, and has the chartreuse tip. And I have these grubs right here, which are pre-rigged on jig heads. And they're bleeding, as you can see, but as I said before, I don't really mind when they bleed. It just gives them a little different look. And lastly, I got, every fisherman should have these Senkos. I got them really rigged up. Got 3 different colors. Show you a couple of them. Got this same color, green pumpkin, and a chartreuse tip. Texas rigged, wacky rigged. And I use O-rings on these to make them last longer. I got a 4-inch model too, 4-inch ones too, which are great for when you're going for the smaller bass, or if the conditions call for something more finesse-like. Alright, that's it for my plastics. And let me go ahead and show you the rest of my stuff I got, which is could be pretty useful to you guys. Alright, and first in this pocket, I got this bang attractant and a shad flavor. It's aerosol spray. It's really good for spinner baits and jig skirts, and I also spray it in these bags, all my plastic bags, and let it soak in. I like the shad over the crawfish because it smells a little better, it has a bit of an anise smell to it, and it doesn't bother me at all when I spray it. And I got this KVD line and lure conditioner. It's great for extending the life of your line in addition to improving your cast distance. I got JJ's Magic, which is the best chartreuse dye if you want to make your plastics a little chartreuse in color to make it stand out a little more and also give it a nice garlic flavor. JJ's is the way to go. And I got Pro Soft Plate Glue, which is a super glue. You can use it for anything, like gluing together your soft plastic baits or gluing the lip onto my Rapala like I showed you earlier. Alright, in the middle pocket I've got a umbrella double up rig right here. Fish 2 lures at the same time. I like fishing those Storm Walleye swim shads on it. Got some multi-tool pliers. And I got some, and these are kind of like pliers that can go a little deeper in a bass to pull out hooks if you accidentally deep hook one. On this left side, I got a flashlight for fishing at night. I keep my, this is a P-line Shinsi, and 15-pound I use as a leader. I use braid for the main line, then I use this as the leader and connect it with an Alberto knot. And this is just some random stuff. Got some spare contact lenses, eye drops, Advil, Band-Aids. I don't know what those are. That's about it for that. On this top one, I keep my, this is my new Team Daiwa Steve's reel that I got recently. I keep this in here in a protective case, keep it from getting any dust or dirt in it. It's spooled up with 30-pound Suffix 832 braid, and I got the P-line as a leader. I got my fish scale, gripper scale. It functions 2 in 1. Here's something my friend showed me, a product. It's a Humminbird Smart Cast. It's really great for shore fishermen. It's pretty much a portable fish sonar. You can locate fish and locate structure and figure out the depth and temperature of the water you're fishing. It's a great deal for only $80. I would definitely recommend all shore fishermen to have one. And I got a tape measure over here and my bunch of I fish in Maryland, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, so I got my fishing licenses for all of those places. And lastly, in the back, I have an empty box with nail clippers, because what I like to do is, after I fish with a lure, I don't like putting it back in the box because it'll be wet. I don't want it to rust. So I'll put it in here, and when I get home, I'll let it dry out before I put them back in their boxes. Alright guys, that's it for my tackle bag check. If you have any questions, just post something on the channel, and I'll answer as soon as I can. Alright, take care guys. Bye.